So as you watch this video, well, if you watch it as I release it, so maybe I should say as I release this video, I am actually going to not be sitting here in my home office in Queensland, Australia. I am in fact going to be in Canada because my brother-in-law is getting married and we are heading over with the whole family for that event. Very exciting to be getting out of the country and also to see our family. Nick's parents are in England, his brother is in Canada, and we're in Australia. So it's the first time we're all going to be together in a very long time, which is awesome. That being said, that is why I'm covering this topic today, which is how to prepare and how to restart your business when you take a holiday or a vacation. This is really important. I've been through it so many times because I've been running my business since 2008 and we have traveled overseas many times to visit family and friends and just for holidays. And generally speaking, if I'm going to be gone more than a week, I close my shop because I want to have, well, one, I want to have a holiday, right? Like who doesn't want to just have a proper holiday? And two, I don't want any disappointed customers because things don't arrive when they want them to arrive. And it's better to avoid that situation because you can end up with bad reviews and unhappy customers. Now, speaking of Etsy specifically, if you do sell on Etsy, I know there's so much debate about this, but let me tell you from a place of experience, I have put my Etsy shop on vacation mode more times than I can remember, and it's okay. Yes, you will lose a little bit of positioning in search because you basically yank your stuff out of search for whatever period of time you're on, holiday, vacation. But there are ways to get the ball rolling again quickly once you come back to work, and that's what I want to talk about today. So I'm briefly going to cover how to prepare yourself and your customers for a holiday, and then I'm going to talk about how to restart your business. So if you don't know me, I'm Jess Van Den. I've been running my Etsy shop Ethereal since 2008, and I've been fully self-employed with my jewellery business and my online education business for makers, Create and Thrive, since 2010. So I've been in the game for a long time and I've shut my shops many times and gone through this process. In fact, as I'm recording this, I'm in the midst of going through this process, the first part of this process right now, and I've just done everything I'm going to tell you. So let's start with that. So what you don't want to do is just shut everything cold turkey. This is especially true if you have a lot of repeat customers, if you have a good community around your brand. If that's the case, you definitely want to actually take advantage of this to potentially get more sales, because what's going to happen is scarcity, okay, which is a psychological marketing trick, right? There's only so much of something, so you want to get it. In this case, there's only so much time that you can get something, so you better act now. So you want to announce that you are shutting your shop and how long you're shutting it for, at least a week before you do. So plan this all out, look at what your vacation dates are, think and work backwards. Say, okay, I have to leave on this date. How long before that do I want to have finished and shipped all of my orders? And how long before that is it going to take me to get them all done? And that's got to be your shop closing date. It shouldn't be the day you leave. It should be that date earlier so that you have enough time to catch up with all your orders, ship them out, and get ready for your holiday, especially if you're going away for a while or you have kids to organize or something. You need time to pack and organize the house, right? So then whatever that date is, another week before that is when you announce that you're closing your shop. So you want to put this everywhere you possibly can. You want to put it on your shop banner or your Etsy banner. You want to put it on all your social channels. You want to, if you have a mailing list, you want to email your list. And you potentially, it's something I've done before, is actually put it at the beginning of my Etsy listings. So in my own website, I have the ability to edit the shop page so I can put a message at the top of the shop page. You can't do that on Etsy. So one way around that is actually to put the vacation message or notice at the top of each listing. Now you can do that because you can bulk edit your listings, okay? So what you can do is if you go into your listing manager in Etsy, you can actually select, bulk edit, and you can add a paragraph to the beginning of every single listing in one click. And then when you come back, you can undo it by removing that same paragraph with one click. So it doesn't take very long and it's really good. And the reason that's useful is that anyone who comes to your shop or lands on any of your listings during that week will be notified that you better order now or you're not going to be able to order again until X date. Okay, so this is again working on that scarcity, that if people are humming and hawing about it, kind of putting it off, then they'll hopefully click that buy button. Okay, so that's the steps you need to take. And then obviously when the date rolls around where you need to shut everything, pretty straightforward. You just close your, put your Etsy shop in vacation mode, close your website if you have one, whatever that looks like for you. It's going to be different depending on your platform. I'm on WooCommerce, so we can put it in holiday mode, which is great. And then you want to make sure that vacation notice is sort of pinned everywhere. So if you've already put it on your Etsy banner, it's already done. At the top of your Etsy announcement as well is another great place to put it. On your socials, make sure it's like the first post on all your socials. You can pin it to the top. Did you know you can pin posts on Instagram now? So you can pin it to the top of your Instagram, even if it's not the most recent post. And even if you're going to keep posting while you're away, if you're one of those people who kind of combines your personal and your business socials, you can still keep that post pinned at the top. So when people, come along, they'll see, oh, you're on vacation. I can't order at the moment, which will hopefully reduce the amount of messages you are going to get during your vacation. Because of course we know when we have a business, there's no such thing as completely ignoring it. You still have to kind of keep up. Now, one way around this, obviously put an autoresponder on your email. Like if you really don't want to be dealing with this during your holiday, put an autoresponder on your email. But before I forget, I should just backtrack briefly and say one more thing that I've now forgotten what it was. Give me a moment. Oh, that's right. So another thing you might want to put in your holiday message is like, orders placed by this date will be shipped by this date. You might want to give people that information too, but no big deal. It depends on your industry as well. Okay, getting back to preparing. Putting an autoresponder, of course, remember in that autoresponder, you need to have all that information. And this is where you want to put that note about if you ordered by X date, your order would have been shipped by this date. If you have a problem with your order, so this is where, you want to try to, because, there's still potentially orders in transit and stuff like that while you're heading off on your vacation. So you want to tell your customer when you're going to get back to them if they have a problem. So you might say, I'm going to be checking my messages on, Mondays and Thursdays or something. And so I'll get back to you on that date or that time, or just say, look, I'm just not checking anything until this time. You might want to talk about what your missing items policy is or your damaged items policy, or like direct them to that so they know for themselves. But I personally, sometimes I will take a full week where I'm completely offline. And in that case, I just say, look, I'm offline. I'll be back on X date and I will help you with any problems or any questions on that date. Because I'm going for like 5 weeks, I'm not just going to ignore my emails and messages for 5 weeks. I'm not comfortable with that as a business owner. And I'm still running my other business while I'm away. I'm not actually having a proper holiday because it's such a long break that I don't take that much time off. I will take, the first 10 days of our trip, or 9 days, Nick and I are actually doing like a adventure, and then we're going to be settled in the one place for the rest of the time with family. So during that first little bit, I'll probably pretty much take a proper holiday and pretty much put business to the side. But once we're settled, I'm just going to be working on, the general stuff as little as possible so I have time for family, but I'm still going to keep things ticking over, right? If you've just got a handmade business, all you need to potentially keep an eye on is your messages for any problems that may have arisen during your holiday. So you decide when you are going to be talking to those people, when you're going to be responding to those people. Tell them in the autoresponder, and that will at least let them know you haven't ignored them. Okay, so I think that's pretty much everything you need to do to prepare for your trip. Now, let's talk about when you get back. All right, so at this point when you get home, now, this is another thing. Depending on your turnaround time, you might actually want to reopen your shop before you go home. So I'm actually going to be reopening Ethereal a couple of days before we leave Canada, probably only a day or two to be fair, because our flight is like 2 days because of time zones. It's not actually, but you know what I mean. So I'm going to reopen a few days before we leave so that hopefully, we can start to get a little bit of momentum once we get home. And because I'm, the last week of my holiday, I'm not doing anything strenuous. I'm just going to be hanging out with family. I can kind of do a bit of this stuff while I'm there. But it's up to you. You might just want to wait till you get home and get settled in home again to restart. So reopen on the date that you chose. You want to kind of unwind everything you've done. So change your banner back to what it was before, open your shop, remove any notices about your holiday from anywhere, turn off any autoresponders you have on, unpin and possibly even delete the holiday messages on social. You don't necessarily need them there anymore because you're back and it's over. Don't be afraid to delete stuff on social too. Like if you have an announcement for something and then you can remove it, like it doesn't have to stay there forever. So do all of that. And then you want to say, hey, I'm home. So if you have a mailing list, email your mailing list. Again, post on socials that you're back and, basically announce it. Now, a few other things you might want to consider doing if you want to kick things off well. Here's a bit of a list for you. Number 1, offer a sale, like a reopening sale or special. Number 2, offer some sort of giveaway that just builds buzz, gets people noticing that you're there again, and it gives you something to talk about for a few days as well, to kind of basically harp on about your giveaway for a few days to get people's attention. Number 3, if you're on Etsy, maybe you want to run Etsy ads for a week or 2 just to try to get the ball rolling and get a few more eyeballs on your shop and start getting stuff back into search again. 4, you might want to renew your stuff in your Etsy shop. So one little thing about search, and I have a great video about how Etsy search works, where I break down every single element of Etsy search. I'll put a card to that here. So one thing about Etsy search, the Etsy search algorithm, the algorithm is that recency does matter. It has an impact. So if you've been away for a period of time, a bunch of stuff has expired, obviously renew the stuff that's expired, but also the stuff that's not expired, you can renew it to get it a little bit of a bump, a temporary bump in search, and that might again get the ball rolling a little bit for you. And that is basically it. You should be then up and running, getting things rolling again, and hopefully with those little tweaks that you've done, things like the renewing and the announcing, etc., you will hopefully start to see your sales rolling in. Now, it may take a little bit of time because it takes time for things, especially if, like me, you rely a lot on Etsy search to bring your customers. It does have a little bit of a lag period sometimes where you will get, it'll take time for things to arrive in search again. But also remember there's that cool function they have on Etsy that when you do put your shop in vacation, Etsy allows people to put their email in and get notified when your shop reopens. You could even do that on your own website if you want to. So you could create a landing page or a button or whatever, or a form that says, hey, do you want to be notified when I return? Please enter your email here. And so if people have done that on your own website, you obviously want to email them, but that should have just added them to your normal list, which you're emailing anyway, right? So that's cool, but Etsy will email anyone who's put their details in that. So that might, again, I know in the past that's brought me some people that have put their email in there, and then when I've reopened, they've come and ordered because they've been waiting to order something. So that's nice as well, but obviously not a guarantee. I would love to hear from you in the comments below. What do you do when you take holidays? Do you put your shop in vacation mode, your Etsy shop? Do you try to just extend shipping times and production times? What's your experience with Etsy vacation mode? What do you do throughout this process? Is there anything that you do that I haven't talked about that you think is a great idea? I would love to hear about it in the comments. Please do share that with us. If you enjoyed this one, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss my future videos on how to run a thriving and profitable handmade business. And on this channel, I also talk about how to have a healthy and productive work from home lifestyle. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's awesome to be with you. I'll be back again soon with another video. Now, before you go, if you've watched this video and you're like, yeah, nah, I think I want to actually just not put my shop in vacation mode because I'm not going away for a very long time, guess what? I have a video on that. It's right here. So hopefully that will help you out with what to do if you're going on a short holiday, but you're not putting your shop in vacation mode. So check that one out next. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.